Hello YouTube, welcome back to California to West Africa. So I got a lot of pushback, not a lot, but a few comments. Listen, to my viewers that watch me every time I upload, hey guys, I really appreciate you coming back to my channel. You guys always leave something positive on my channel, I appreciate it. But you know, sometimes the negative comments are kind of fun to answer to. Not fun, but you know, it's like the comments are either two things: they're super supportive, or I get people tell me that are really irate just for one little thing I said in the video. Yes, when I uploaded the video recently about I said Western women aren't built for coming to Africa. I still stand by that. There's a gentleman here. He lives 4 houses down from us. He got this little tiny brick. They don't build the buildings very nice here, but anyway, this guy is an Ivorian man who's living right there, who came back. He's in his 70s. He's in poor health, and he's by himself. Now, this man is married to a French woman, a white lady up in France, and he's a retired French detective. So I don't know his whole story because I haven't really spoke to him, and Michelle speaks to him. She goes down and checks on him because he's in poor health. I guess he was like a self-defense instructor. He was his body is shot. He's gotten so many injuries from fighting, you know, doing martial arts, and I was like, but he's all by himself. And she goes, I feel bad for him. He's down here living by himself. And I was like, where's his wife? His wife is French, and his kids, they all stayed in France. So they don't want to come down. He wants to come down and retire because he's Ivorian, so he has roots in this country. And now I'm totally guessing here, but I'm guessing his wife, who's I'm going to consider Europe, Western countries, I'm guessing she doesn't want to come down and live in these conditions where you're living in hot climate, spiders, lizards, scams, bribing officials everywhere you go. You know, look, this is not something that a Western lady would like to come down and deal with. Now, I seem to be getting quite a few comments from women say, I can live there. Okay, I don't know what your situation is, but that's not the norm. And listen, whenever you speak about large populations of people, you have to speak in generalities. I can't speak to every individual situation. Yeah, there are some women that are tough, but women and men travel for different reasons. One commenter told me, speak for yourself. Okay, I am speaking for myself. I'm here to relay my experiences. I'm not trying to talk about everybody's experiences, but I know that there's a lot of men that, you know, listen, okay, first of all, I'm kind of an outlier. I'm a white guy. Now, you can't tell by looking at me. I am from the fucking hood. I am from the hood. When I say I'm from the hood, I'm from the ghetto. Now, if you want to go look it up, I grew up in the gardens of South Sacramento. And I've lived in Oak Park all the way up until I just moved here. This is my 3rd year going to be in Africa. Go Google Oak Park. Tell me what you think about that. It's like they rap about it in West Coast Records. I mean, they talk about Sacramento. So I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. Now, people got upset when I said, we know the racism thing is bullshit. Of course. I don't even know why I have to say this. Yes, I know there's racism. And in fact, so I'm going to speak for myself. I've experienced, and one of my commenters called it, there's god-awful racism in America. Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, everybody can be racist. I experienced god-awful racism. Matter of fact, I've experienced more racism than any black person I know. I know, you're going to say, oh, that's crazy. So let me just tell you a couple stories. This is why I call BS. I know there's racism. I know it can exist. But every time in my experience, I'm going to be 55 this year, okay? I've been around. You're not going to gaslight me. You're not going to tell me my lived experience isn't just as valid as yours. My lived experience is just as valid as yours. And I come from a black neighborhood. Rex. Now I'm just going to tell you a couple anecdotal things. I know they don't mean anything. They're just my experience. But so if maybe you can try to understand why I say BS. All right. So first of all, so let me just think back, because I have a 1,000 stories I could tell you of the same kind of incidences. So I'm in 7th grade, and I'm in English class or something. I don't know what it was. And we had a white substitute teacher, and I'm in a class with predominantly black students. My friend Jamal, this black guy. Shout out to Paul. Paul, you remember Jamal? My friend Paul, and I'll get to Paul in a minute. So anyway, so we're sitting in class, and so Jamal is in back of me, and we're doing our assignment. It was like a Friday, and they had to give us this assignment. And so what I did was I sat there and I finished my assignment quickly. It was extra credit, and then it was kind of like free time in the class. You can finish your extra credit, okay? So I finished. I walked up to Mr. Picard. He was this tall, white substitute teacher. And I said, Mr. Picard. And he was an asshole to everybody, not just black students, white students. He was kind of an asshole. But I went there and I said, hey, Mr. Picard, I'm finished with my assignment. And can I lay my head down? Oh, you're all done? He went and checked my work meticulously. It says, okay. Now, this whole time, Jamal is, blah, 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 hey, what's up, my nigga, blah, 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 talking. And Mr. Picard had to tell this guy to be quiet like 30 times. Ridiculous. He talked the whole time. And me and Jamal were cool. I mean, I liked him. Rex, get over here. So I put my head down. What does Jamal do? Puts his head down too. He tries to sleep. Mr. Picard says, hey, what are you doing sleeping? Oh, you're letting the white boy do it? And a racism. Well, he said and even though he explained that I finished my work, I asked permission, and then of course, it was because I was white. Never mind that Jamal had just sit there and talked the whole time, loud as fuck. Never mind that Jamal didn't finish his assignment. It's racism. This is why, and that's just what I know. That's a small story, but I'm telling you, going to school with all black people have been racist as fuck to me my entire life. I lived in that neighborhood. I was poor like everybody else. I grew up on welfare. My mother has 4 kids. It reminds me of that Steve Martin movie, The Jerk. I was born a poor black child. I lived in the hood with everybody else. We were so poor. My mom was on welfare. 4 kids. She got 3 different baby daddies. My mom was a bigot, just like a lot of people are. You know, a lot of people behind closed doors will say the N-word, and Mexican call them spics, and you know, but my mom always treated everybody nice. My mom, for all intents and purposes, she was nicer. Black, Mexican, she got along with everybody. But behind closed doors, she was a little bigoted. And I had to unlearn a lot of things because I was raised that way. But, you know, I would go to Black History Month. You know, every February, Black History Month. This is back in the 80s, mind you, okay? I'm old. And so I remember watching a video. And it was about a white woman who was walking down the street, and she saw a black man coming, and she clutched her purse, and the guy was so hurt. Oh, this is the racism that we have to live with. Oh, his feelings were so fucking hurt. But I remember watching that, I was going, yeah, man, that's messed. Why do they just assume that black people are going to do that? So I'm 15 years old. I got a job. It was going to be my first day at Shakey's Pizza, and I'm walking down the street. 15 years old. First day on the job. I'm happy. I'm walking, and lo and behold, I'm walking on the sidewalk, and there's like at least 8. I want to say between 8 and 12 black kids got off a bus in front of me, and they're walking towards me. Rex, this way. So I just started thinking about that video. Oh man, I better not cross the street or act like I'm scared. And this is my neighborhood I'm in. And so I struggled through. I said, no, black people aren't going to do anything to me, even though I knew better in my heart of hearts. I've lived in that neighborhood my whole life. Jumped, beat up, called white boy, cracker my entire life. Not accepted in that neighborhood. And walked up. They jumped me. Called me white boy, cracker. What am I doing in their neighborhood? They took my watch. They took my shoes. They took my $2 that I had in my pocket. And I went to my first day of work with no shoes on. Now, that was pretty traumatic for a kid. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you one more story, and I'll just leave it at that because this is all anecdotal. None of this really matters. This is all just my life experience. So I'm 11 years old. Now, my mom was in a welfare to work program. I'm 11 years old, sitting in the house by myself. This 17 or 18-year-old black guy across the street was always picking on me. I'm 11 years old, always calling me cracker, white boy. He was a bully. He went to school with my sisters. They know him. So he comes over to the house. No one's home. He pushes in my door, comes into the house. I'm screaming bloody murder. Get out of my house. I'm scared. The guy invasioned the house while I'm there. He's 18 and I'm 11. I finally screamed loud enough to get him out the door. And then I went and got a pitcher of water because he's still at the door. And I threw the water at him through the screen door. And I said, nigger. Because I'm 11 years old. I'm stupid. I shouldn't have said that. But I mean, at this point, I don't know what to do. I just knew that would fold them up like a lawn chair because I know black people hate they don't like to be called out of their name. They can call me whatever name they want. But as soon as you call them what they call each other, it's a problem. So he busted up my bike. He stomped on it, destroyed my only bike. We're poor. Matter of fact, that was the last bike I ever owned at my house because that bike I'd had, we were super poor. Matter of fact, we were so poor, I had shoes I would go to school with my shoes, my soles of my feet flopping off. It was terrible. And so my mom gets home. I told her what happened, how he came in the house because he looked through all her drawers, went to my mom's room, all that stuff. My mom went over there and she goes, hey, you guys got to pay for my son's bike. No. He called my son a nigger. So we ain't paying for shit. Blah, 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 blah. So never mind that he home invasioned me. Never mind that he was bullying me. He's damn near an adult, if not an adult already. Never mind all that. Oh, I used the N-word. Oh, that's racism. So you'll have to excuse me when I call. Whenever I hear racism, or it's just like when I hear women. There's so many women falsely accusing guys of rape. Every time I hear it now, I'm getting black fatigue. I'm getting false rape fatigue. I'm getting fatigued. And a lot of white Americans are. And listen, I'm the least racist person you can meet. I mean, I have black kids. I'm with black women all my life. I've been in the military, had black sergeants, got along with everybody fine. But I've experienced more racism from black people than anybody. But see, here's the difference. I wasn't taught to be a victim. Never in my life have I thought to myself, I'm a poor victim. Fuck that. Who wants to live in a victim mindset? Rex! So that's my point. All right, so one last story about me being experiencing racism. And I'm gonna say it here in front of Michelle so you don't think I'm exaggerating. Now, I've said this in another video. When I moved to Benjerville, this town, Michelle and I lived in a one-bedroom little studio. And when I first got here, I wasn't even here a month. And I was followed home by an African man. Baby, how big was this guy? So I don't want to exaggerate. How big was this guy?
Oh, so big.
This guy was a muscle-bound, 6'3", huge, intimidating guy. He followed me home. Now listen, everybody's black here. Everyone's African. So he targeted me. He followed me home, and he started saying, "What are you doing in my village? Who are you to be in my village?" Or something. He speaks French and some pidgin English. And he told Michelle. He walked up behind me as I opened the door because I don't want to assume anything about anybody. I try not to assume anything about anybody. And so when he was walking by me, I think maybe he just lives there. He comes in the house right behind me. And Michelle said, "Hey, who is that?" I said, "I don't know who that is." And when Michelle went to speak, he says, "I'll beat you." He said, "What did he say?" He's going to beat you if you speak.
He beats me if I'm sick.
Because she's with a white guy. So he comes in the house. I immediately run. I've said this and I told the story in my other video, so I won't go into super amount of detail. And I ran. The kitchen was just around the corner. I ran and got a knife, and I stood and I fended this guy off with a knife. Now, thankfully, the neighbors came out and we all were able to run him off. This guy was huge. Now, we went to the police. I went to the police immediately. Police didn't want to come out. You know, they're like, oh, you know, you got to bribe. I think I had to pay like $40 for them to come out. 20 or how much did I have to pay? 40,000?
Apartment?
No, to the police to make bribe.
Oh.
You have to bribe them to come help you. Like I had to come over. I had to host them, give them sodas, give them some money, and they finally arrested the guy. But I had to do my own police work. Can you imagine that? I'm targeted as a foreigner, as a white guy, and I had to bribe the police for them to make the arrest. And then I had to set the guy up. The guy ended up coming back, and thankfully, and you see in the if you go watch the video, like I said, I was home invasion. He comes in. We had the gate locked to the thing, so he couldn't come in, and I filmed it. And I pretend like I was going to be friendly with him, and I said, "Hey, come back at this time." I had to do all the police work to get this guy arrested, and then he went to prison. But so imagine if I was a white woman or a foreigner woman over here. Now listen, I'm 6'2", 220 pounds. I've taken self-defense. I know Tang Sudo. I don't have any MMA experience, but I had a friend of mine that was an MMA guy, and I've been to jail. Years and years ago, I went to jail. And listen, I know how to fight, and I've been in some fights. Okay, I'm no pussy, but this guy scared the shit out of me. And but imagine if it was so if you're a woman living over here, and you can be black or white, and if you're American, they can target you because they think you have money. So this is what I'm saying. And women that come over here are probably more. Men are inherently more in danger from being attacked. There's women say they don't feel safe, but listen, I walk around here with a knife on me most of the times. I keep it in my pocket because I never know. I have to keep my head on a swivel, and I have to be aware of danger all the time. I am the protector and the provider of my family. Women that come over here, they're not the providers and the protectors of their family. If that was a woman and that guy Junior had done that too? They could have ended up with murder. But listen, I will fight to the death anyone who comes in my house. You fuck with me, you're fighting me to the death. So that's what I'm saying. Women are not built to go live in these third world. Yeah, I know. So I've had a few women that came, I could live there. Listen, this ain't the movies, okay? You're not beating up no man. Even men are in danger. So if you're coming to these developing countries, third world countries, you better have a person that is from this country. Now I've got a friend of mine named Hi Marcel, shout out to Marcel. Marcel is a Swiss man. He's going to come down and live in. He's going to be retiring here in Côte d'Ivoire, in Bingerville, but his wife is Ivorian. So unless you've got, and this is what I was saying in my video, in order to make it over here, you have to have some kind of connection with the locals, or have somebody that's Ivorian or African with you to negotiate the living here. Just like the other woman in the video, you're going to be sadly mistaken. You might last for a little while. Listen, and there's nothing. Listen to me. There's nothing that can run me out of here. I don't care how many bouts of racism I do. I don't care how many times I'm attacked, or targeted. I'm here with my family, so I have a reason to be here. There's nothing that can run me off. Snacks. I can't get my snacks. There's lizards and spiders. I kill spiders. I can run off lizards. I can protect my family, and I have enough income for here that I can create a bubble of safety for my family. But it's not safe. So if you're a woman and coming here, you're not safe. You're not safe in these countries. You're not going to feel safe. And I just speak in generalities. So anyway, that's the video. I wanted to include a lot more, but listen, somebody said, speak for yourself. Okay, I'm telling you what my experience is. And I can tell you a lot more stories. Maybe I'll start telling some stories of how I've experienced racism in the U.S. Racism did not run me off out of America. What ran me out of America was divorce laws. Yeah, I can get a Western woman in the United States easy. I've never had a problem getting women. And in America, I can make six figures. If I work, I'll make six figures. It's not a problem for me. But I don't want to risk marrying an American woman in America with the divorce laws where she can take half my stuff. Why would I risk that? So this one a woman came in the comment section, and shout out to, I can't remember her name, but she's in the comment section. She goes, "Oh, when men want Western women, no, we don't. Everyone, the only people I know. Okay, so my friend Paul, he's married. He's Filipino, and he married a Filipino woman that came to. So she's a non-Western woman. I do have another friend named Oscar. He's with an American woman, and but even he's experienced divorce. He lost his first kid in his divorce, lost half his stuff. Now he's married again. Okay, he's doing fine. He's been married for a lot of years, and once you're in your 50, he's in his close to 60 now. He's doing fine. Okay, but for the majority of my friends, they don't even want to deal with even relationships in America. Most of my friends are single, not even interested in dating, because what they have to pick from the U.S. is not only do you have to sift through all the entitlement and all the feminism crap in America, but then you have to, and then if you do find a woman, then you got to worry about getting, and then you want to get married, and then it takes two incomes to live. Why would a man do that? Men like me are fed up. We're leaving America, and we're either shunning relationships altogether, and we just want our peace, or we got to come over and find a woman like Michelle. Listen, I'm very lucky to meet Michelle. I always say that Michelle was lucky to meet me because like a lot of African women, they love white guys. Okay, so I'm a sought after commodity here. So I say Michelle's lucky, but I'm lucky too. But when I say Michelle's lucky, listen. I'm in short supply over here. A white guy with a middle income that is willing to live in this country. I'm not easily replaceable. How do I say this? I have my pick of women over here, and so I don't know how to explain. I don't want to say too much because I just know that I know my worth over here. So my value over here is a lot higher. My S&P or SMV, sexual marketplace value, is a lot higher over here. I'm a bigger fish in a smaller pond over here, so I can have my pick of women, and so I was able to pick a great woman. I had Michelle's got her doctorate. She's traditional. She comes from a good family. I'm not 100% sure about anything. Of course, anything can happen, but I'm pretty sure that me and Michelle are going to work out. Now, and if it doesn't, well, you know what? I have a million other options, but I'm pretty sure that I picked the right one. And I'm in an environment. I'm going to keep her here. I'm not going to come to America so she can get these Western ideas in her head. I'm going to stay here because I actually care about my family. I care about keeping my family intact. I care about my daughter growing up with two parents, and I'm going to have some more kids. I think it's super important in America when you go through divorce. If we went to America, Michelle is just a woman. She can go there and get corrupted just like any other woman, and then she found, I can take him, I can take half his stuff, and no, I'm not playing that game. I'm not risking my family because I care about my family. Because I care about them, I'm going to stay right here in Cote d'Ivoire. Hey, thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks. I'll see you later.